Thank you so much.
Krishna.
Haribol. Good. Thank you very much. Oh, Brew, it's upside down. No problem. That's your karma. Not mine. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I don't know if there's any need for introduction, but I was here 2 days ago. We had a nice program yesterday. So we're going to do something special. We have done this at least twice before with the help of Dhruva Prabhu. Years ago we did this, what we called Kirtan Standards course. We call it actually Conscious Kirtan Workshop is the actual title. And it's for everyone's benefit here because standards are important. You know, like in every household you have standards, you know. It might begin with keep your shoes, you know, by the door, don't bring them in, don't track your dirt, you know. That's a standard that everyone should know about, that you said. In some houses, it's not like that in some places. But, you know, we thought that since Kirtan is at the core of our culture, let's look at what those standards are. Yeah? And the reason why it's important is because we see that, you know, at least in those who travel around, that there are different things that are occurring that might not be, let's say, cogent with Prabhupada's, you know, like what the directions he gave us. So it's understandable that we have to dig this up, this beautiful workshop, because new people are coming all the time, and sometimes we forget. The two main themes that we've come up with, when I say me and a few friends, on this shaping up this workshop are, number one, it's to, what did Prabhupada want? Or number two, inclusiveness. Being inclusive when it comes to Kirtan. You know, the feeling of force of unity, using teamwork. And number two, what is it that Prabhupada wanted? Are we following the standards? So our presentation here will be a combination of slides, videos, and also your questions. You're okay for putting up your hands, and I think I can see the hands. So you can, in the course of our presentation, put up your hands if you have a doubt or something like that, okay? And even though the lights are low, and that is for a good reason, I think we can function this way. Is that okay? And if there's a need to flick on the lights, then we can do that, okay? All right? So at least I know we're all here. Thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. I think we'll get started. We've modified this presentation. We're going to start off by going into a convent. Now, what does that have to do with this program? Well, there was a film that came out called Sister Act, and it was in a convent, you know, where celibate ladies live together, and they sing a lot. You know, they sing a lot. So the music was not sounding so good. You could see the priest of the church cringing, oh, just so, you know. And so one of the ladies who joined more recently, she had some musical background, and she's an African American lady. It's Whoopi Goldberg. So if you see this, what is Bhakti Swami doing? Is he trying to convert us to be Catholics? No, that's not the point you'll get. The music should sound good, okay? And it should be coming from the heart, and there should be some standards behind it, okay? So don't worry, don't be shy about putting up your hands. It's really important. Some of you are good Kirtaniya people, you know. This is Mridanga boy, this is voice, he's a Mridanga. You guys, you're musical, you know, a lot of you. And some of you want to be musical, so this workshop will help you. Now, the long version of this can take 4 hours, and then we show you how to dance steps and, you know, like play card dolls. And I was in Cuba, and we had we did this course with the devotees there. We did, you know, we had harmonium lessons. We had somebody teaching Mridanga lessons, you know, all just like jumpstart type things. But we won't have time for that now. This is a crash course. Hare Krishna. What can I say? What can I do? And after this is over, I have to rush over to Golden because our buses are going to be waiting for me there. Hare Krishna. It's gonna rush out there. Hare Krishna. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. Lights up. Lights up.
So, Mary Clarence, you think you can do better? I believe I'd like to see that. Go ahead, sister. Make them sing. Let me have Sister Alma play it one time so we all know what we're going to do, and we'll go from there. Sister, will you give me those notes, please? Okay? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Very, very nice. That's a powerful instrument you have there. But I think it's probably a good idea if we bring you down out of the rafters. Everybody wants to be close to God. I'm just not sure you can do it vocally. Okay, so I need you to sing an octave below where you've been singing. You have to put attitude in what you're saying. You have to think about what you're singing. It's not just quacking. This is rejoicing. You are singing to the Lord. Let's review those notes again and see if we can put it together. Sister? Basses, altos, sopranos. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Sing a chord for 2 seconds. The next thing you have to learn how to do is listen to each other. That's a big key. Big key. You must listen to each other if you're going to be a group.
So the point we're trying to make here is there's training involved, behind Kirtan. I find a lot of times in the places where I go, it's kind of free for all, Anybody can take a microphone sometimes and just sing away and think that they're in tune and they're in beat and in rhythm with everyone else, but it's not so. It takes some practice, and especially when we have like a Sunday feast program, which should sound kind of nice, that everybody wants to get involved. And when you do public presentations, say like Rath Yatra or Janmashtami or something like that, you want to be practiced, you want to be rehearsed. You want to sound good because you want it to be attractive, that people want to join in. And if it sounds like just like noise, not rehearsed, then it's repulsive then. Is that okay? Some people have, in our communities, I find, they're tone deaf. Yeah, I was in one community where I did this presentation, and I asked the question, I put it out there, do you know someone who might be tone deaf? And everyone looked at the temple president. They all, and it was kind of like humbling for him, but he realized that maybe for the first time that, okay, maybe I need to learn a few things. So there's a music scale, and there's a Western, Eastern music scale. It's more evolved in the Eastern tradition, but it's good to know some basic things, you know? And I find it's very hard to tell some newcomers in particular who, you're tone deaf. I mean, you're off pitch. So could you just be a little quieter? And the people who can sing right and then I'll go out of my way and say, why don't you take some voice lessons? There's nothing wrong, no harm in that. It's, you know, it should sound nice because you're trying to present it to God. You know? So that's it. Let's go here. Themes today. What would Prabhupada want in an inclusivity? We mentioned those things already. That's where we're going to go with this. Let's be very united in this endeavor. Workshop topics, this is what we're going to cover in the next little while. Is there a need for standards? Who sets the standards? Why do we chant? Where do we chant? Participant roles and responsibilities. Kirtan content, inclusivity, and our conclusion. Let's move along. Hare Krishna. By the way, Sharneshwari is helping with this clicking, so I'm grateful to her. Haribol. And we're grateful to you for coming and listening, okay? And again, if you have a question in the middle of the course, don't hesitate. I think it's good to have that little interactiveness. All right? Good. And come as close as you can. Okay? Is there a need for a standard? Haribol. Okay, so sometimes our presentations on the street, like say, with the Bow River or say Rath Yatra, we can come across easily as a little bit ragtag, you know? It's not very, you know, let's say polished, you know? I'm not saying, we don't have to be professional, but it should sound okay, you know? And that's important. There's nothing wrong also with being professional / devotional. Right? Mm-hmm. I think both work well together. Would you agree? You know, we don't have to be professional. It should sound nice, you know, and done with devotion. Let's say it's just devotional and not professional, not practice, not rehearse. I think the public will not like it, and some of us who are a little bit musically inclined won't like it as well. Okay, so let's move along. Is there a need for improvement in your center? I'll ask that question, okay? That's my question to you. Is there a need to improve the kirtans in your center? Let's be frank.
Yes.
I want frankness.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, somebody said a lot. Can we specify a little bit more what we mean by a lot? Where does it need to be improved? That's my question.
I feel like the things you mentioned earlier, singing off key, getting excited, maybe not having a very smooth progression, and then also with instrumentation, maybe picking up an instrument prematurely before learning something or practicing. Same with singing, really. I think practice is needed before implementing it publicly.
Sure.
So we can attract the public in a nice way.
Yes, good. Any other points specifically where you see little flaws, where it could be a little bit better? Like I know at the Kirtan was really wonderful on Sunday. I was here and the bus kids were there, and one of the devotees said, "It's too fast, too fast." I didn't hear him because there was so much noise, but he said, "Too fast." I could read his lips. Okay, it's sometimes too fast. What else? Is it too, what else? Too
loud.
Too loud, yeah. We'll talk a little bit about how the mantra has to be heard more than anything else. More than the drums. Pardon me?
Instruments, like
Yes.
too many instruments.
Too many,
Doesn't
yes,
work
and it
well.
gets all muddled and you can't, nothing is distinct. Yes, exactly, yeah, exactly. These are good points. Anything else?
So like, improvement in the center. Like, do we have any training classes or anything like that over
Well,
here?
that we'll have to you'll address to some of our local leaders here who can tell us that. We can answer right away if you like.
Yeah, that,
Is there somebody who trains in music? Is there somebody who trains in Mridanga playing, for instance? Do we have any devotees here? You trained some devotees with?
I'm with Vancouver. Vancouver is own classes.
Oh, you're with Vancouver, but what about here? This is
not-
Calgary.
Yeah, like I'm not training over here, but then yes, in Vancouver I'm doing.
Okay, you do it online?
Yeah,
Oh, so, and what is it, voice? Is it Mridanga, harmonic?
Mridanga.
Mridanga. So here is a source, right? Here's a source for Mridanga, and you two can get together after this session, you know, if that's what you're interested in. Vocals? Any vocals?
It can help.
You can help, okay? So that's something to explore for some of the managers. Okay, there's maybe a need to find, you say people who are in vocals, who teach vocal lessons and so on like that. I know somebody in Vancouver Island who can do it. I know some devotees in Ottawa region, and maybe some things are online. You might have to pay a little bit, and that's not a big problem, because some of you who want to sing and for the Lord, you might invest in it. It's a good investment. It's the very best. So that's the best way I can answer it now. You know, you can start with Prabhu here. And
probably like if we have a dedicated class, either on Saturday morning, we have classes on Saturday morning.
Okay.
And after that, if we can have it. Few
That's a
years
big
back,
request. And is there anybody here from the management team, from the leadership team? You're one of the guys? Okay, and your name again? What does it start with? Swapna. Okay, Swapna, could you answer that, address that? Okay. And after this, this whole presentation we're doing today, just identify some of these people, okay? And just go to them or check with the management itself. Okay, so we went through that. Please think about what could be implemented that we've done. Let's go. We got a few more slides to go through. Very well. Why should Kirtan have standards? That's a question I put out to you. Why? Why not just do from the heart? It should be okay. God will like it. He'll understand. Why should we have standards?
Standards bring quality.
Brings quality. Mm-hmm. Good.
it's like
Anything else?
uniformity.
Uniformity. Yeah, and that makes it beautiful, makes it attractive. Anything else? There? Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Oh, I'm sorry. I just saw a hand go up here first. Yeah. It's congregational. Okay. Congregational chanting, so therefore there's a requirement for standards. Okay, we do things together cooperatively in teamwork, right? I think that's what we're saying here. Okay, are there any standards for ISKCON Kirtan already established? Okay, so there are devotees out there who teach Mridanga, who vocals and so on, but it's online, and some people like to do it in person, so that has to be explored a little bit. I refer to you. Is that okay? Can I put pressure on you, Prabhu? Okay, because you're here and you're representing the temple council. Let's move along, okay? Who sets the standards? Srila Prabhupada. Anybody else? Anybody else set the standards? What's our culture all about? Where does it come from? From the acharyas, yes. People in the disciplic succession. There are some standards. So let's continue on. Someone read this nice and loud and clear. Volunteer.
Within these Vaishnava standards, which I have put forward, lies the spiritual strength of Srila Prabhupada, letter to Sudama, February 16, 1973.
Okay, lies the spiritual strength comes from the standards, okay? Foundations, okay? Let's move along. it's important to remember, why do we chant? And where are we chanting? Okay, why do we chant? An example from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's phrases as called Shikshastra, Cheto Darpana Bharishanam Bapa Mahadabhagdamir Bapanam, etc. It's to cleanse the mirror of the heart. It's to cleanse for purification. We're dirty. We've got some dirt inside. It's packed up. That's what's stated in this verse. For many lifetimes, there's ill karma, layers of it, right? And so it's time to clean. Spring cleaning, we know what spring cleaning is. Next. Now somebody can read loudly this quote from Srila Prabhupada.
Cheto Darpanam Acharam. If you chant always 24 hours without any payments, so it will clean your heart, so that you will be able to analyze your position, God's position, the world's position, then everything will be nicely clear, and you will Srila Prabhupada, January 2nd, 1967 year, Bhagavad Gita lecture 10.3.
Jai, thank you very much. Hari Bol. Thank you. The importance of chanting today. Okay, here we go. Another person would like to volunteer, okay? And if people just come a little closer, we'll be able to hear each other, because slide a little bit more if you don't mind. Mataji's, there's lots of space over there. So come on, a little closer. Who'd like to volunteer?
True, I can.
Okay.
In this age of Kali, practically everyone is like Jagai and Madhai, but the Sankirtan movement inaugurated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still flowing like a great river, inundating the entire world. Srila Prabhupada, CC Adi 16.1 purport.
Yeah, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Good, let's continue on. The importance of chanting today. Actually, we should give more stress in worshiping the incarnation of sound vibration. But whenever there is possibility of installing deities and strictly following the regulations of worship, we shall do this. But, the next one, the essential part of our activities is to worship the sound incarnation. So, I find that a lot of devotees feel that the importance of going to a mandir, to a temple, is to have darshan. And maybe some rituals will happen. Maybe there's snan, maybe there's some special kind of puja going on. It's a popular thing, right? But according to the directions from Prabhupada and the previous acharyas, more important than that for this age is that we come together, we come to the mandir to chant together, to sing together, to praise Krishna, to say his name repeatedly and show our love. Every time you say Krishna, you say, Krishna, I love you. Krishna, thank you, thank you. It's like a mantra. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a little bit like that. It's expressing gratitude. Can you see okay over there? Yeah. Okay. Where do we chant? Okay, this is very important because there are two basic places, Kirtan venues. Let's look at them. At the top, you have, it looks like there's some puja going on in a temple. The bottom half, it looks like it's an outreach program. Not Western instruments are being used and so on like that. So you have like temple, indoor situations, and there's outdoor. When you're in the temple, we're a little more strict with our instruments. Like we made some resolutions that djembes, although they're nice, they don't work in the temple so much, We want to give praise to our mridangas, so we use them, right? On the other hand, if you're outdoor, a djembe might work, or a guitar might work, or a piano works, or a banjo, it just depends on the scenario, but you have a little more liberty when you're going outside, But it's good to keep within certain parameters, and be careful what you chant too. Don't be too liberal, and don't catch yourself singing Bollywood songs in the middle of, Hare Krishna. There's a time for that and a place for that. Okay, next, so here's the answers. Public and private-ish, okay? We have the Sunday feast, festivals, Harinam, outreach programs, that's kind of public, and there's private. This is like in more an ashram setting, house programs, special classes. Okay, we'll move along. Public versus private. This is a quote from a little book that was compiled together, and here it is. There's this distinction between street Kirtan and temple Kirtan. In street chanting, liberties may be taken to make the chanting more attractive to the public, such as additional instrumentation, dance, choreography, and attractive dress. The same applies to festivals and Sunday feast kirtans. For regular temple kirtans, however, the need to attract the public is absent. And thus, temple kirtans are stricter when it comes to melodies, instrumentation, and so on. For instance, I was at, on Ottawa on Canada Day, July the 1st, and we were singing really nice at the Music Conservatory across the street from the Chateau Laurier. And, we were chanting, people were watching, and somebody said, "Why don't you chant the Canadian anthem?" And so we had to. We were stuck, and then we went back to chanting. And then one devotee, his name's Atma Tattva, he came to Ottawa once, and he said, he went Krishna, 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 Krishna. And he was leading the kirtan, and everyone followed. And then he went Canada, 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 because that's what we were under pressure, So we did. You have to be a little bit smart, how to apply yourself in these different circumstances. But we're not going to chant Canada, 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 even we love our country, not in front of Radha Madhava, right? So you understand the point, utility is the principle. Okay, temple kirtan. Prabhupada specifically described how kirtan should be done in ISKCON temples. Okay. Regarding instruments for temple kirtan, kartal and mridanga are sufficient. There's no need for other instruments. Even the harmonium is like people in our community have embraced it like in India they've embraced tea. You have to have tea, chai, at 4 in the afternoon, right? And it's stuck, and just like chili peppers, they came from South America. They didn't come from India. But now, Hare Krishna. So we have adopted different things. And Prabhupada saying, essentially, mridanga, kartal, that's good enough. When you do things. Bhajans, a small group of people, then it's okay to have a harmonium. Sometimes devotees go on the street and they use an accordion, which is like this, and it's very effective. And it straps and you can hold it, doesn't get too tired for you. But, it can be used. In the temple, it may not be so traditional, so just keep in mind, it's good. I know dancers in our movement they know contemporary dance, they also know classical dance. And I've seen one of my, friends from just outside of Toronto, they did a fantastic video of her doing a fusion of both. It's stunning, outstanding. So I would just say that there is some merit to being traditional, and a merit to going a little bit wilder on the outside. Okay. I have some disciples from Africa. They do the worm in the kirtan. They go on the floor and and it excites everyone. So therefore, it's a utility that's used. Okay. So for Mangalarti, for those of you who come to the morning, services, this is what you do. This is what you chant. We're talking about the particular chants. You sing the Samsaradaka, Halalitaluka, Ranaya Karunya, Gana Gana, etc., etc. And then you chant the Panchatattva mantra and the Maha mantra, and that's sufficient. You don't have to go off and Jaya this, Jaya that, Jaya every deity that's in Vrindavan, Jaya all the deities that are across Canada. Jaya you, Jaya me. You know, there's no need for all of that. Well, because it takes away from the core song, which is the Maha Mantra, right? Is that okay? That's clear? Okay. We don't need to introduce so many different things, you know. It really distracts from the real thing. So that's an instruction from Prabhupada, and so we should abide by it. And that's from a book called Kirtan Standards Book. It's this fact, instructions from Prabhupada. Okay, next. When you do the Guru prayer, which is Shri Guru Charana Padma, you sing that first, then the Panchatattva mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and the Maha Mantra. That's good enough. That's the core. Okay. Then we'll go to the next. For evening Gaur Arti, like what the devotees were doing here on Sunday. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandera. Although it was a little bit muddled and sounding a little bit, messy and so on like that. Could have been a little better. But this is what Prabhupada has given us as directions. Now, I usually chant the pranam mantras to Prabhupada first before I do anything. Nama Om Vishnuvadaya, because it's Prabhupada's movement, it's his culture, it's his house, it's his society. And I fear that if we don't give a little attention to him, then he'll be lost somewhere down the road. So it's important to bring that up. Thank you. Next, for all artis, the basic pattern should be followed. The chanting of Sri Krishna Chaitanya's the Maha Mantra. And Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 3 times is good enough, okay? And then you get into the Maha Mantra. Let's continue. No one should sing a bhajan. This is another point, unless all the devotees know what the song means. So it's good to have the translations available. You need to know what you're singing, right? Is that okay? Yeah. Any questions so far? Since the last time? Okay, great. Are we doing okay? Is this helpful for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Public kirtan. Here we are. Kirtan or Harinam needs to be attractive, needs to look good. Let's look at some examples. Oh, this is just as still, it's not moving. But what makes this look attractive? What makes it look appealing?
They're dancing in unison.
Yeah, we think they are. We're not sure.
Looks like.
But they all are dressed in a nice, attractive way, all the same way. The colors are appealing. Yeah. They look like a garden, like flowers. Okay, next. Here we are. Now they're moving. That gives you an example, yes? Was it nice? They practiced, they rehearsed. In Toronto, I asked the boy from Ireland who spoke on Sunday, Shabananda, said, now we've been to many places, Chicago, New York, this place, that place, Montreal. And he said, was there any place where you thought that the Rath was nice, And he was just talking about one particular place. He said, yeah, it was organized. And like what we did in Toronto with the Bhakti Academy, we had everyone dressed, color coordinated with the little turbans on. And the girls were all, that's for the boys. The girls were also dressed coordinated. We had them lined up. The first line was all brahmacharis, this color. The next line was the boys in sort of like yellow, white, if I recall correctly. And they were playing and beating the drums. Next line was another group of boys who were playing other instruments. Next line was the girls, because we didn't have so many girls at the time. And they were dressed neatly. And then at the end was boys going like this. So, and all coordinated. It looked really good, And there was also like a Chinese dragon in the front. Before we had mascots of Krishna and Radha. Looked really nice. And then at the next, that was Balaram's chariot. Next chariot was these Russian girls, doing all that niceties like you saw there with fans and stuff like that. Looked really good, looked really attractive, very subtle. So I understand you have these fellows with the drummers coming in the front. That's very powerful, it's very attractive. Beautiful. Of course, chanting, let's read this together. 1, 2, 3, go. Of course, chanting Hare Krishna does not require any artificial artistic sense, but still, if the procedure is presented rhythmically, then the people may be attracted more by the transcendental music. Okay, so that's important to take note of. That try to rehearse. There's nothing wrong with rehearsing. Practice is good. We hear it sometimes. Practice makes perfect. At least practice makes it attractive. Anybody disagree? But if you don't practice, it's like you don't know what you're going to get. It could sound real lousy. And there's a lot of enthusiasm. Like everyone sometimes people come with any old instrument, and they've never had a practice in their life on how to bang kartals together. Or some people come with those big whompers. They look like garbage bins lids, and they don't know how to play, and they're off key. And you tell them you're off key, can you stop? And they get insulted. Well, practice is what everyone else does. The nuns do it. Everyone else does it all over the world. Marching bands. What's that? The Rose Bowl parade. Everyone. Bruno Mars, he practices with his team, right? Everyone does. Why shouldn't we? It should sound nice, right? Okay. Let's go. Roles and responsibilities for the different people in Kirtan. Okay, so let's identify the leaders, the people who lead the song. Number 2, supporting musicians. And number 3, the responders. As you know, we have what's called Shravanam Kirtanam. You hear what the leader's singing, you repeat. Don't try to do something different. He'll give you a dirty look. And usually leaders should be people who are a little bit practiced, they know what they're doing, It doesn't matter, somebody might have been around, somebody's been 108 years old. Oh, we have to be nice to them. We have to give them the microphone because they're our elder. Well, maybe that person doesn't know how to sing. So maybe it's not his or her time. Let them go up on the stage and say a few words, but don't have them lead Kirtan in the public place, because we know them to be off key. Hare Krishna. I don't need to say much more. Let's read through this one together. Leaders. He must be himself always enthusiastic, inspire others to be always enthusiastic. Then he is a real leader from Srila Prabhupada. Let's go ahead. And leader. So this is an image of Yamuna Devi. Everyone knows her. Govindam Adipurusham Tamam Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham. That's enough, okay, because we have time. Okay, for the present, you may join Sankirtan party because I know that your presence will enliven everyone. That's a letter to Yamuna in the early days, and she did a good job.
Govindam Adipurusham Namaham Bhajami Govind.
Thank you very much. And George Harrison was sitting next to her. So we cut an album with the devotees, and it got to be #1 on the charts in Europe. Haribol. Hare Krishna. Let's read this together, and this is from the Kirtan Standards book. Whenever there were guests, Prabhupada, are you together with us? Together. 1, 2, 3. Whenever there were guests, Prabhupada almost always sang the standard Hare Krishna tune, or some similar very simple melodies. Like, you know what that one is. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, We'll talk about simplicity, simple melodies. Some people get on the microphone, they're doing something classical, and they go, It took you a half hour to get Hare in. And then Krishna the next half hour. And nobody can follow that person. Okay, do a show, sell tickets, rent a hall, and do that, but don't ruin our Hare Krishna Kirtan, please. Let's go to the next. Srila Prabhupada didn't usually speed up the Kirtan to a frenetic pitch and then stop and start again. He gradually built up to a steady, medium, slow rhythm. This gave a chance to enter into the Kirtan and meditate on the chanting. The melody was simple and he didn't change it. Okay, good. So that's the idea. Start nice and slow and simple and easy, and build up a tempo in your temple, and gradually you build up a nice momentum, and then it can reach a crescendo at the end. That's natural. Okay. All right. Let's read this one together. This is from a little booklet that myself and Ravetta put together. Adinam. 1, 2, 3. Kirtan played with a steady rhythm allows for graceful dancing and melodious chanting and can continue for hours without stopping. Okay, that's a quote from Prabhupada. Okay, what's this about? What's the story? What's the theme here? Sudama and Krishna. What's the theme here? Service, sure. What kind of service and done with? Give me H.
Humility.
Humility, thank you very much. Let's move along. Let's read this together. 1, 2, 3. Humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. That's the purport from the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's Gita. A good Kirtan leader personally tastes the nectar of the holy name, is there with it. Okay? Next. And helps others to relish it also. Next. He doesn't just stand with his eyes closed and interacts with other devotees and encourages them to dance and chant enthusiastically. Have you ever done a kirtan like this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. What's going to happen to everyone else? They will sleep, yeah. So you have to have your eyes open and use your hands, be very Italian for a few minutes, and just kind of get everybody going, like join in. And we always encourage dancing. When you use the harmonium, in the old days we never had our harmoniums on the floor like what happens these days. All that clubbing and jamming and all that stuff. That's a whole new thing. But we used to always dance. And I understand for seniors, they need to sit on a chair. That's fine. You can listen and join in the singing. But what happened to the dance? Mahaprabhu, anytime you see Panchatattva pictures, they all dance. Prabhupada showed us how to dance. So in our long version of this workshop, we show people how to dance, how we did it. We call it the Swami step. We might have time. Let's listen to something sweet and melodious.
Nava Gauravaram, Nava Pushpasharam, Nava Bhavodharam, Nava Lashaparam, Nava Hashokaram, Nava Hemovaram, Pranamami Sachi Sutta Gauravaram.
Good, so that's the late and great Bhakti Swami, who was born Bengali, and he had the voice for it. And it's very sweet, isn't it? Makes you feel like you're in love with God, right? Isn't it? As opposed to like some rock star. Okay, so listen to John V. Harrison.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, beautiful voice, very, charming voice. And if you notice, the instrumentation was very beautiful. There was a flute in the background. And didn't just fall in line with her voice, it just periodically sparkled up there, So, use your instruments wisely, that's the point. Okay, supporting musicians. We talked about the leaders, what their responsibility is. Now the people who are playing the mridungas and all that, Respect for the instruments, that's where it starts from. The instrument area should not look like this. Does it look like that in your temple? In some places it looks it looks pretty orderly. Thank you. Supporting musicians shouldn't be too loud. Maybe one mridanga is good enough for a room this size. And if two other people want to join in, then you all play softer, but together, right? You don't have to bust people's, so they have to have earring age at the age 25, You don't have to kill people, and ruin their instruments, God-given instruments, So let's keep that in mind. Instruments should never be louder than the leader's voice. According to the rules, instruments should be subordinate to the actual singer. How does that sound to you? Okay? Like, it came across right here. Quality versus quantity. Less is more. You've heard that phrase. Okay, let's read this together. Supporting musicians. In Kirtan, all musical instruments, including the mridanga and kartals, must be played in the mood of serving the Kirtan, not controlling it. Hare Krishna. I have to be dramatical. Okay, here we go. Supporting musicians. We need to play the instruments thoughtfully, not like these monkeys. Go ahead. Okay, right? Okay, it should sound good. All right, next. Here's a quote from the Kirtan Standard Book. Kartals should be chimed sweetly, like gopis' ankle bells. They should not be clanked together like dustbin lids. Okay? There's no need to bang and make a lot of noise, Especially a room this size. You have to look at the space you're in, right? And if you're someone's living room, you sometimes do the living room is maybe half this size or 1/3 this size, and people bring out a whole speaker system and several microphones, and it's a overkill, overboard. Just look at your space. Look at your space. Okay. Let's go to the next. Kartals. Many people leave kartals because because the kartals clanging causes physical pain to the ears. They are high pitched, and it scares dogs. And I was in New Orleans, we had a kirtan, and the horses with their carriages, the horses, they just couldn't handle the sound of the kartals. It was too. But I'll give you a little hint. If you are going for some hiking in the Rockies, like Banff or anything, bring a pair of kartals with you. Because if you clang them, the bear will probably go away. He doesn't like, it's too high pitched, it's too annoying for them, right? Okay. So now we're listening, this is about kartals. Okay, let me go in this one.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Did you hear the kartals in the background? It was absolutely sweet. Sweet is a treat. Okay? Okay. Watch. This is Srila Prabhupada playing in Los Angeles at the studio. Good. These are the 70s. Jai Prabhupada ki. Watch. hey, supporting musicians that quit. Hang in there, don't give up, okay? We sometimes see that somebody's playing Mridanga. Have you ever seen this before? They play halfway through, I'm tired, put it down. Just leave it, I mean, even Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, they don't drop their, Keith Richards doesn't drop his guitar in the middle of the performance. So why do we do that? We're performing for God, right? So these are important elements of etiquette to bear in mind. Okay, the sound system is an instrument too. So if you set up a sound system in your temple or for any event, you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing, not just someone who thinks they know what they're doing. And it's not an experimental time. With the Rav Yatras, you might have to hire some professionals, okay? And they know what to do, so you don't get that feedback. There's nothing more annoying than that. You get feedback. Feedback is for prasada, by the way. It's not for sound. So this is a GBC resolution from 2014. The sound system should be adjusted so that it sounds clear, sweet, and attractive as opposed to overly loud, distorted, or painful. Warning, should this be a Sunday standard? Let's Okay, you get the point, right? Nothing was clear. You couldn't hear one instrument clearly. There was no voice. It wasn't clear. It's all muddled together, and people are just happy. So nice. It's usually just a small core group, usually young guys who are all excited about everything, and they're all pumped up with hormones and everything. I'm getting recognized, and everyone else says, "Oh, what's going on?" I think, "Can I get prasad or exposure to sounds exceeding 85 decibels causes permanent hearing damage. We already talked about that a little bit. So let's go to the next. Temple kirtans often exceed well over 85 decibels. Volume is everyone's responsibility. Okay? Now we're going to go to clapping. Believe it or not, some people don't get it, they go on the half beat. Like that. And they think they're doing it, but they're not doing it. So that means they're not very rhythmic. They either need to, like say, take some lessons in rhythm, or just don't touch anything. And just be happy that I'm not a musician. That's it, okay? Let's read this together. 1, 2, 3. Just as by clapping hands, one can cause many birds to fly away. Similarly, the birds of all sinful activities, which are sitting on the body, can be made to fly away simply by dancing and clapping before the deity of Krishna. That's a quote from the Nectar of Devotion. So clapping is an instrument. But I would say this, don't just start clapping any old time. Like the kirtan, someone's done the kirtan, they're starting Hare Krishna. 5 minutes into the someone goes like this, and then they stop. And then they go at it again. Well, what's that? You're not playing with, you're not a team player. Play with the leader, You're supporting, So it's not, enthusiasm is always good, but it should be controlled enthusiasm. Would you agree with me? Controlled enthusiasm. Let's read this together. Srila Prabhupada's quote. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the Mridanga and Kirtan. Otherwise, clapping in itself is sufficient. Okay, dancing is very good. We're talking about dancing. These are responders, okay? Let's read this. Dancing is very good. The more you dance, the more you become light. Means the burden of material contamination becomes reduced. Dancing is so nice. Even if you don't feel ecstasy, if you dance by force, that will also happen for Srila Prabhupada. Okay, let's get a little, let's see something here.
Teach me to dance. Will you? Dance? Did you say dance? Come on, my boy. Together. Let's go.
Simple moves, right? It's beautiful. People dance when this is
Again.
from Zorba the Greek. So let's get to the next. Different cultures have their choreographies. What is ours, and how do we do it for the public? Do we have a standard way of dancing? I can see a few things that are out there that are kind of clearly like Hare Krishna moves, you know. But I think we could emphasize it a little bit more. Let's look and see what other people do. These are a group of boys. In my 40s, I worked with some of them in our dramas. But here they are drumming. With them are doing this. Culturally, it's very appealing. They used to travel around and do this, but all of them are daddies now, so they don't travel as much. Jai Hari Bol. Anyone can chant Hare Krishna. There's no need for an instrument, okay? Let's look at the power of the voice, okay? We shouldn't underestimate the power of the voice. So let's look at some examples. So learn how to sing properly with a pleasing voice. That's a strong recommendation for this workshop, which we can't help you with right now. But I did in Vancouver, did it once. I brought in a voice training expert, you know, to show people just what is the range, what, you know, the scale, the music scale, and you know, to help people that there are. Don't just consider that I'm just going to sing. That maybe you need some help, you know. So take help where you can get it. Let's move along. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? There'll be your ears and I'll sing you a song. I will try not to sing out of key. Oh, baby. Okay, that's good. That's a lyric from a famous song by the Beatles. What would you do if I sang out of tune or out of key? Would you still love me? So the point is that there is a key that it should be followed, and let's try to get that down, okay? It's good to have a music director and provide some musical training, and I want to emphasize that. Let's move ahead. Listen to the beauty of the voice. Thank you. Okay, these are Gregorian monks, and they chant Gregorian tunes. There was no musical instrument there. What they did was they harmonized, and they used alto, soprano, combination of, you know, so it's beautiful, beautiful. But they train for this, you see? They train. Okay, next. This is from Zulu, Africa. They harmonize. They don't use any instruments at all. No drums. The beauty of cooperation. Okay, I go to South Africa every year, and I work with the Zulus. They're fantastic on the stage. They're beautiful as actors and sometimes dancers. Okay, so there's a beauty to the voice. Okay, realize that and use it. Pradyumna Prabhu, who traveled with Srila Prabhupada, went around to the ladies saying, Srila Prabhupada wants you to make the ululating sound the ladies make in India, especially in Bengal. Okay? So I filmed this next little frame, I filmed myself by some of our devotees Hare Krishna, in my Okay, now that you've heard it, now you can try it. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so it's something that can be practiced, right? And it's usually chanted at weddings and major events, as well as at a kirtan when it reaches a crescendo. This is one way that the devotees, especially the ladies, can really heighten the ecstasy of the chant. And even outside, when people hear this, whoa, what's going on? It sounds like my hairs are standing on end. Woo! Kirtan content. What is there? What's cool? What's not? And what you might get away with. So people do different kind of mantras. It's kind of surprising sometimes, you know, what people bring to the table. Not this table, but what they come up with, you know. And there's a lot of Bollywood influences. There's a lot of Mayavad influences, Sahaja influences, things that Prabhupada was quite against, okay? So now there's 3 categories. First, let's look at the GBC resolution. The Hare Krishna mantra should be the primary mantra in all ISKCON kirtans. And if we don't do it like that, you'll get all kinds of interesting things. Did I go, Hari Bol, and it goes for 10 minutes. 10 is not enough, it's gotta be 15, Hari Bol. Well, maybe 20 minutes would be good. And then, you know, the Mahamantra gets lost, you know. And Prabhupada never brought in Hari Bol, by the way. He didn't introduce Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. I joined in 73, and 74 devotees heard from some different places in Bengal that they Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, and they brought it. It was like, it was introduced by devotees without consulting. But I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying Prabhupada didn't do it, so personally I don't do it. Hare Krishna. Let's go ahead. Chanting the holy names of Srimati Radharani. Let's discuss this. Okay. Let's discuss that. Okay. For a minute. People go, Jai Radhe, 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 Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe. All kinds of different. Prabhupada wasn't, he was opposed to that because Radha's name is not mentioned without Krishna being there. Simple as that. It's a kind of a sahaja thing. It's a deviation. So we don't want to catch people doing it, you know. If you just chant Jai Radhe, well, where's Krishna? What did you do with him? You understand? You know. So here are some of the, any other discussions, questions on that? Okay, we do, these influences do come in. And it's good to, you know, put a stop and say, no. If you bring this in, then we'll chant the name of Lalita. There will be no end to it. There's no, you're losing control, right? Okay, so let's go on then. Grand finales for kirtans, these are usually, and fillers. Gauranga, Gauranga Nitya, and Nityananda Ram. Again, Nitai, Gauranga. And Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, that's the common. Gaura Nityananda Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. One devotee chanted this and Prabhupada looked at him, don't ever do that again. And Jai Sachinandan. These are, so even though they're names of God, you just have to be careful about that, okay? You might, especially in the temple setting, you know, just try to keep everything really simple, strict, traditional. And once you start, you know, deviating, there's no end to it. Before you know, it's a Bollywood song, and Krishna's name's in there, and Radha's name's in there, And then people start thinking about, well, this boy chasing the girl in the daisy field and chasing her up in the haystack and up in a tree or something like that. It's even some melodies make people think about a movie, Bollywood movie. So instead of thinking about Krishna, you think about the movie stars. And the movie stars are usually rascals when it comes to being moral people,
Yeah.
They're party animals and they have girlfriends and sometimes there's nudity and all kinds of things. They're not people who lead us in the holy name, So take it from the acharyas. Okay. So let's read this together. Grand finales of Kirtan. 1, 2, 3. That is not done by the acharyas. Therefore, better to stick to Hare Krishna and to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Otherwise, just like these sahajas, they have invented, but they are not approved. They are called Chara Kirtan, means got caught in Kirtan. Okay? Is that okay? Is that clear? All right, especially for the Kirtan leaders. Okay. How many people lead Kirtan here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably more in the community, so spread the word. All right, next. Jai Bhakta Prahlad. Okay, Prahlad is not a lesser devotee. He is one of the Mahajans, so you can just say Jai Prahlad Maharaj if you need to sing that at all. Okay? Too many Jais. Kirtan should not go on and on with many Jais. Jai this, Jai that, Jai every name the lead singer can think of. It is suggested the name of each deity be chanted once only. Their names are already included in the Maha Mantra, so chanting of the deities' names is, in one sense, superfluous. Okay, no need to take away from chanting Hare Krishna. Okay, chanting Jai Gurudev. This is impersonalism. What does it say? Daily, I am chanting obeisance to my Guru by vibrating his real name, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Otherwise, it is impersonal. So then devotees might ask the question, so then we can chant the name of our Guru, Maharaj. Well, that's not what Prabhupada wanted us to do. If you chant the name of, say, your Guru in the Kirtan, then you have to chant, please, everybody else. Always got a different Guru, and then before you know it, you've got 20 minutes of Guru's names, and So we just keep it simple. Jai Prabhupada would be good. He's our founder Acharya, after all. And pod names, well, we decided years ago, the GBC member, we don't do pod. Prabhupada is reserved for Prabhupada. It's not Guru pod or Vishnu pod or this pod, that pod. No, stop it. It's just not the part of the standards, And we can't equate everybody to Prabhupada. So that's the important thing. He's our founder, Acharya. So don't introduce new things. That's the point. Is everybody okay with that? Clear with that? Because there's Jai Gurudev, no need. It's something Prabhupada didn't like. Radhe, forget it. Okay? We explain the philosophy behind that. And names of personal gurus, no, just keep it up Prabhupada, it's founder Acharya. And, we don't want him to fade out in the background. Okay? All right? We're here to please. You can still be respectful to your guru. I'm a guru. I don't want to hear my name. Marg Pod. I don't want to hear it. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. So let's keep it simple. No chanting Haribol. Shall we read this together then? This is from Hari Sari's diary. Hari Sari was one of Prabhupada's personal assistants. Prabhupada said, Nitai Gaur Haribol is all right because they're bona fide names of the Lord, but the real point is that we should strictly follow only what the acharyas have given. This is the process. He said that the acharyas only chant all 5 names of the Panchatattva, not just 2. I gave this little workshop in Hawaii, Honolulu, and they have Panchatattva there. And then I said, we don't need to chant Nitai Gaur. What happened to the other 3 people? And then everyone, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah. Okay, so then together, chanting Haribol, Srila Prabhupada expressed some displeasure about the chanting of so many different mantras. They can chant their names, Nitai Gaur Haribol, he said, but I will chant Hare Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. Perhaps if we had understood the translation of Haribol, then we would have known what to do. Okay, great. Yeah, yesterday we were walking in Chestermere and Jabberwock, and somebody who's maybe a little bit racist, of course it's just me and Gauri Chandra, he's Italian, and everyone else was, Indian origin. There were only about 6 of us or something.
Yeah.
And some motorists drove by slowly and they said, "Go home!" We thought, yeah. I want to go home. I want to go back to God. So we turned something negative into a positive. Here we are. The bottom line from the topmost authority. This is how deviation starts. Somebody puts in his own concocted thing, and then somebody else comes and adds some more concoction to it, and with time it becomes a complete distortion. Okay? That's a quote from someone who, I think it was Bhakti Maharaj who put that together, yeah. Okay, then let's go the next. Inclusivity, this is our last topic, or close to, okay? So let's find a way to engage everyone. If you're a Kirtan leader, try to use eye contact, Try, sometimes it means like I pull you, come on, dance, come on. Haribol, so dance, Haribol. Okay, and you can do that. I wouldn't touch the ladies. It's not my business. But the idea is to, get everyone involved, and with eye contact and with a smile, it works wonders. So get everybody involved. It's Kirtan, and that's the way to party. The other way to party is do some sex dance, have some beer, drink, smoke dope. Have some sex on the side. That's what people do. We don't do those things. We party a different way. Prashadam, kirtan, dancing, smiling, etc., etc. And when you're tired, say, share a nice but sweet pastime of the Lord, etc. So that's it. Now, let's see what else we got here.
Body moving, body moving, body moving, we be body moving, body moving, hey, body moving, body moving, body moving, body, 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 body moving, body moving,
Body moving. You have an obligation. In some temples you go to look at the deities. And you have to go to excuse me, we have enough pillars in the temple right now. Watch out, lions come out of some of these pillars. Okay, purity is the force, okay? We can attract people by some gorgeous show, but inside there must be strict purity and seriousness. Otherwise, they shall be attracted by the gorgeous show only. Conclusion. An intelligent disciple just let's read it together, okay? An intelligent disciple just takes whatever his spiritual master provides for him, considering that to be sufficient. There are many names of God you can chant, but it's best to take what comes in disciplic succession, what the spiritual master introduces. Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in Germany. Hare Krishna. So here's a tricky question. Sometimes, that guru, he's chanting this such and such, which we don't hear about in these instructions. And so all I can say is that, okay, well, maybe that person doesn't really understand everything that Prabhupada gave us in terms of these directives. So that's why we've done this course. That's why we put it together, for your information, your edification, your implementation. Try to do this as best you can, and then we please the acharyas, we please Krishna. Okay, and it doesn't mean you can't be a little creative. You can be. It's not blocking you from being a little creative with the voice, with the dance. It doesn't mean that, or even with the instrument. It just means let's stick to the basic core principles that Prabhupada has given us. We're going to pass out a printout. Is that everything on this? Well, this we can 2 minutes of this. We have a Kirtan. Thank you for attending. So we'll pass these little printouts for you. It's called Conscious Kirtan, Guidelines for Kirtan in a Temple setting. That doesn't mean outside at a show, okay? So lessons for Kirtan leaders, for musicians, and other recommendations. And remember, we're trying to please Krishna. So one can go out to each of you, and we can pass them out. Maybe one on this side. Somebody could take some on this side, and some on that side. I'll give you a little bit more. Now it is time for your questions. Anything additional to what we've already presented? First of all, I want to know, has it been helpful in some ways? Yeah, because sometimes we don't know, right? We don't know what Prabhupada said. So here it comes clear. Here's what we are recommending. Encourage a call and response in Kirtan. One person leads, everyone responds. There's no need for a second microphone for a responder. The crowd is sufficient. If I'm leading a Kirtan, Hare Krishna, I go through the whole mantra, then you respond. Then it comes back to me, right? So we don't need a second microphone for someone to sing, because people are confused. Well, who's leading the Kirtan? Is it this guy with the microphone or that guy with the microphone? Is that working? You appreciate what I'm saying here? Okay, next one. Always encourage dancing. Be inclusive. Number 3, choose melodies that are easy for everyone to follow. Do not change melodies frequently. Don't start a melody and after 1 minute, I'm tired of that one, I'll start another one. And people who are coming new, they just haven't heard these melodies. They're just catching on, and if you switch to another melody, then it confuses them. And we don't want to confuse people. Number 4, sing in a key that is easy to follow. Some people some of our young guys, I hate to say, they'll way up here and nobody else can follow. They're just showing off. I think they're trying to attract the girls, whatever. 5, keep the focus on chanting the Mahamantra. That's the main thing, okay? The Kirtan should never be too loud enough to bother people that they won't come back again. We want people to come back, right? Number 7, Ideally, leaders should dress in devotional attire. So if you're coming back wearing jeans and there's only 2 people there, we forgive you, you know. But if it's a big event, you got time to think about these things, come in a dhoti or come in a sari. Don't cross-dress. That's all I know. Hare Krishna. Number 8, learn the mantras that Prabhupada gave us and apply accordingly. Learn the mantras. Don't bring in new stuff. You know, no need for it. Now the musicians, the instruments should never be too loud or exceed the leader. Remember yesterday, we were playing and it was a little bit loud, 2 mridangams. You know, just play nice together, like play off each other, but softer, so we can hear that you're both in sync with each other, okay? Number 2, the musicians must remain synchronized with the Kirtan leader. Practice is recommended, yes. Other recommendations, a music director, monitor should be appointed and be responsible for all Kirtan coordination and quality control in your center. And we have Vishuddha, what's his name? Vishuddha Sattva, in Vancouver. He coordinates the schedules. You know, he also gives them the guidance if it's too loud or nobody can follow that too. That's clearly what you need in every temple. In every church, they have a music director. So why don't we have that? We should, right? So that we leave that to the management. We'll hear your. Did anybody else come in who's one of the leaders? Oh, Swapna, are you the only one? Anybody? Are you representing Atmaram and everybody? Okay, so we recommend highly. I talked to Atmaram yesterday, and he said, I've been reading the book by Jayadvaita Maharaj, where it's all about Kirtan standards based on Prabhupada. He said, really enjoying the book. I understand it now. I understand it. And you have here locally Dhruva, who plays Mridanga very nicely, and he taught the devotees in Halifax online about these standards, and he's in your backyard. You could use him sometime. Yeah, okay. Then training should be provided for Kirtan participants. Remember, we are trying to please Krishna with all of this. Haribol, conscious Kirtan ki. Haribol. Any questions at all? I would think there should be some more. But we covered a lot. When we do you could do that like 4 weeks on this. Involving instrumentation and showing out people to how to dance nice and, you know, synchronized and so on. But we can do that another time if you like. Okay? I'll be going to the 60th anniversary in New York City for ISKCON's incorporation, and they asked me to be in a stall and to do a workshop. I said, can you do what you do in South Africa? In South Africa, we get everybody to dance and chant, and just so we go crazy. You know, it'll be one of the major corner places in New York City. So, yeah, any other questions? I'll ask you one last time. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead.
Maharaj, what's your opinion on this new thing, jamming, bhajan, kirtan, studying?
Yeah, good. That's a good natural question. I would say, I'm thrilled that young people are coming together and partying with Krishna in the center, with the holy name. Now, I've never attended one of them, and I know our Winnipeg devotees have done something big. A lot of people came, and it was quite exciting. I'm just a little cautious about whoever's leading, not to bring in these, you know, the pop culture too much, you know. Say like cinema music or something like that, or, you know, I'm a little conscious of that. There is a little more liberty for bringing in all kinds of instruments, but I'm so happy that young people are going to these events. I hope they're not smoking dope before they go inside or drinking. I have actually gone to, what do they call it, ecstatic dance programs. And I was asked to put a mantra in there, and then the DJ loops it. And there's these people come in, they haven't drunk, they pay, when they come in. And I was very astounded. I thought it was just wonderful. Hear their party. They just want to loosen up because life is stressful. And sometimes it's just a boy and girl, sometimes just people loosely, you know. And it's very nice. It's beautiful. I didn't find any sexual innuendos necessarily. It was very nice. You know? Yeah. And the DJ brings in some like Bhangra twist, and you know, and then he changed it to something else, something very melodic. It was very creative and very beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So that is my opinion. I think is we don't have an outlet for young people to express themselves devotionally, then they'll go outside. They'll go to the club where everyone dances, and it's just a scene that's rajasic and tamasic. So I'm glad this is becoming popular, and I hope it takes off and more people will go, and hopefully it won't get spoiled and, you know, get contaminated like many things do. Is that okay? Well, that's my opinion. Do you have an opinion?
I think what you mentioned is good.
Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks. Anything else for Liz? Okay, I want to thank you all for listening well. I just will now ask before we go for prasadam. We talked about Kirtan, but we had Kirtan, right, from 6 to 6:30, and I apologize for not being there because I do several Zoom classes every week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every week. And if you're interested in that, we can try to find a good time for you. But now I want some feedback. Somebody can take a microphone around. Can you give me a one-word, you know, description of what you feel about this workshop? Or tell me what was your favorite? What did you know, what jived for you? What gelled for you? What resonated? Okay, so we've got, who's fast on their feet? Who's fast? Keshav. Okay. Keshav, yeah, this is definitely this is up your alley. Okay, Keshav.
Turn it on.
We got a go over there. Right.
One with the hand up.
Hey, I found it very powerful because I think, for people who are maybe not used to the culture or not very smart, having a lot of hymns could become very daunting. Whereas I think if you keep it to just few, it becomes more accessible. So I found your lecture very powerful and simple at the same time.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well. Anybody else would like something happened while he turned his on? Mine went off. Anybody else? Because I need to hear from you. We do have longer versions of this, and but we kept it kind of short for an event like this. Okay? Did you have something you said? Want to change the batteries? Should we allow them to know that? Yes.
I think this whole seminar was very enlightening and empowering. I think every devotee's aspirations is, to learn how we can serve Prabhupada correctly. And sometimes we're not taught these things, so all we know is whatever we hear from everybody else. And that's the limitations of our knowledge. So I think it's really beautiful to see how Prabhupada wanted us to operate and operate in accordance to that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. And I would just want to add, if somebody's a little musically inclined and they follow these rules, then they can do this presentation. Sometimes 2 or 3 people can go through this, or the elongated version. And because we find every 6 months there's a whole bunch of new people that come, and they would like to learn a few things, become enlightened. What did the Acharyas want? What did Prabhupada want? Okay, great, thank you. Anybody else? We'll take 2 more, okay?
Very nicely introduced for this, very nice. And I just concerned about the Vaishnava song. If temple can, they have a lot of Vaishnava song.
Yeah, you like bhajans, right?
Bhajan.
Well, bhajans are good for, like extra time, you know? Sometimes in the morning you can chant a bhajan, after the Mangal Arati or the greeting of the deities. That's a good time. Or you can just have some special programs aligned just for this purpose. We're going to have a bhajans. We're singing bhajans by the acharyas. Okay? That way people get to learn. When I joined, there was a lot more bhajan singing. Of course, we all lived in the ashram, and our whole life was about learning and being educated. Most of you folks are busy with your work and families and so on. But if some time can be set aside for bhajan training, that would be very good. You go through the translation, and everyone gets to understand, oh, this is beautiful. I don't have to listen to Bruno. Of course, I like Bruno. It's Uptown Funk, I know that one. But and I don't go out of my way to listen to these things, honestly. It's bhajans, it adds richness to the community when you can set aside some time for chanting these different bhajans. Good. So your management again.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Good. If we have extras of these, they can be given to the management too.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Oh, I just wanted to add, like the workshop is very simple, and for non-ISKCON people, it's easy to understand and integrate into the.
Integrate, yeah. As you say, one is simple and easy. Yeah, we designed it that way. Exactly.
And one thing I wanted to know, Prabhu had been with ISKCON for a long time.
Yes.
You met Prabhupada.
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Yes, I did. I didn't talk to him personally, but I met him.
But you saw
that's
him,
a whole other workshop.
Oh, okay.
Anything else? One more person, maybe? Any impressions?
My question was if we should be able to play harmonium during Gora Arati.
Yes, Prabhupada said it's not absolutely necessary because it takes the form more of a kirtan. But let's put it this way, you won't go to Kumipaka or to hell if you play harmonium. It adds a little extra flavor. It's not bad. It's supportive, but it's not absolutely necessary. Again, the harmonium was created in Europe, Germany, I think it was Germany or France in the 1800s. It's not part of our culture. It never was there during Mahaprabhu's time. In Mahaprabhu's time, there was instruments, stringed instruments, and some of them became very popular in Indian, like classic folklore in Bengal and so on like that. And there's the sitar, of course, and the flute. These are all well-known instruments, but harmonium. It's not necessary. If you want to, you can. No one will kill you. At least no one will strangle you to death. It's not a big sin, okay? Even if somebody comes on Sunday with a guitar, we're not going to torture them. In fact, we'll encourage them, But you might encourage them to be part of an outreach group that goes out to sort of a Western crowd, and they'll get enthused, like some people like guitars. In South Africa, when I go there around here, it was called the Bhakti Cloud Tent. And they ask me every year, I'm supposed to be the down small stop. So we get everyone to dance, and they have people on the djembe, they have people coming with different instruments, and it's just a lot of fun. So you can let loose. One of our god brothers, Swami, apparently he's there. And he's originally from Canada, Japanese parents. He doesn't come around, but he said, for a lot of people, just give them a chant. Don't give them philosophy, they'll get lost in it. Even some of the food they don't like, it's too spicy or too many chilies. Just concentrate on, get them into the chanting and the dancing, for some. Okay. Okay, I guess that's it. Sorry, I don't want to hold you up. Some of you came from work and your stomachs are growling. I apologize for that. But thank you for this workshop, and there's similar others that we can do. We can get a little more detailed in the future. But nowadays people have a little less time. They also have a attention span that's not very long. So we have decided just to do this like that. There's a lot of good stuff still tucked away, you know, but we decided to bring out the essentials, okay? My suggestion is sing in key. If you don't sing in key, if you got somebody in your temple says, by the way, you're off key, your pitch is wrong, and don't take it as an offense. Don't get all defensive about it. Just, you're probably right, and you need to learn. Okay, don't spoil the broth. I can cook here, but if I put some sand in there might be sugar in there or something, or honey, whatever. But I put some sand, it spoils everything. So the kirtan should be nice, attractive, something that pulls you in, draws you in. But if one or two people are off with their playing, they might need to be told, you need to take some lessons. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? It's not that they don't want you to be there. Don't take it too personally. You know? If I want to learn to be a baker, I learn from a baker. If I learn plumbing, I'll go to a plumber. And if I wanted to learn how to do kirtan bhajan, I go to somebody who knows how to do it. Right? So it's not just a free-for-all. Okay? So thank you very much. I would like to do this with each and every one of you, but that'll take some time. We can offer our obeisances. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Where is Krishna?